Hi everyone, welcome back to Falcon's House. This is the Lost Watch Vlog. Season 2, episodes 13 through 15. Please like, subscribe, and share with other Lost fans. Locke and Jack realize that all of the weapons being available to anyone is a bad idea, since Michael took advantage of that looking for Walt. They convert the safe room area that has a combination lock into a storeroom. They then put the guns in the hatch along with the 5 guns from the marshal and the 1 from the drug runners in. And then after that they add the medicine and the Virgin Mary statues that Charlie saved in case they had medical reasons for them. Since the beginning of the season they had found trust issues about the best thing for the group, so they decided that they both should know the combination and should only open it if both of them are present. In the flashback, Sawyer is working a con on a woman and trying to get money that she got from her ex-husband. Sawyer opens a case full of fake money, and she realizes that he is trying to con her, and she says that she didn't get anything in the divorce, and that he should research his targets better. She wants him to teach her how to con people. He teaches her a con using fake jewelry, where she buys some and convinces some other guys to buy some. After months of conning people, she asks him to do a big con. He tells her that this is called a long con. He tells her that they need a lot of money to pull this off. She then tells him that she lied about not getting anything in the divorce, and that she has $600,000. Sawyer goes to a diner and meets with his partner, Gordy. They are served by Kate's mom. Sawyer tells Gordy that he doesn't want to go through with it because he likes her. Gordy threatens to kill him if he doesn't do it. Sawyer then goes back to her and tells her that they need to go on the run because his partner is going to kill them, and moves all of the money into a duffel bag. After showing her the car with Gordy in it, he sends her off with a duffel bag that he has swapped out for one with fake money. He then goes outside and he shows that the car is actually empty, and then he goes back inside and gets the money and leaves. So he still ended up conning her. She just didn't know exactly. Sawyer is talking to Charlie about how they are the most hated people on the island. Charlie tells him that Jack is going through Sawyer's stuff, and Sawyer confronts Jack, who says he's just taking back the medicine the medicine Sawyer took, and that he doesn't have a stash anymore. Sawyer comments about how Jack goes to Ana Lucia now instead of Kate. Ana Lucia asks Jack if he has the combination to the gun safe. Jack doesn't give it to her, and she mentions that the survivors are not scared enough of the others. Kate reads to Sawyer, since he has lost his reading glasses on the raft, and he mentions that Jack and Ana Lucia are forming an army. Hurley gets a radio from Bernard, and finds out that it was Bernard that picked up Boone's transmission. He brings the radio to Saeed, and asks him if they can use it to try to send a signal again. Trying to cheer Saeed up after being sad about Shannon, Saeed says that it won't work. Sun is in the garden and she hears a noise, and then Vincent runs by, but then a sack is put over her head and her hands are bound and she is dragged away. Sawyer and Kate hear screams, and they run over and find her knocked out. They bring her back, and everyone is afraid that the others have returned, except for Locke is skeptical because of the fact that the others said that they would leave them alone. Jin asks for a gun so he can go after the others, but Jack gets him to wait until Sun wakes up before doing anything. Kate and Sawyer investigate the scene of the crime, and they find a hood, and Kate said it is similar to the one that the others used, but not exactly. So it seems like somebody is trying to frame the others for something that they're doing. Kate thinks that it might be Ana Lucia trying to raise an army and Kate tells Jack and tells Sawyer to warn Locke that Jack is going to try and get the guns for revenge. Locke moves the guns so that Jack can't get them, and leaves Sawyer to push the button. Jack comes looking for the guns, and just finds Sawyer, who tosses him the pill container. Jack goes to find Locke and gets mad about the guns. Locke tells Jack, who he was also going to break the agreement, so he doesn't really have any room to talk. Then Sawyer comes out of the jungle with a gun and starts shooting it into the air, and he says that he is in charge of the guns now. Later we find out that Charlie is the one who kidnapped Sun, and it was part of a long con by Sawyer, and Charlie wanted to make Locke look bad. I dislike Charlie. He creeps on Claire, and then he gets mad about it after, and he gets really whiny and complains about everything. Sawyer offers Charlie a Virgin Mary, but he turns it down. Saeed has upgraded the radio with the transmitter, and they are able to pick up a French voice and then a song. Saeed says that the frequency bounces off the ionosphere, and it could be coming from any place. Hurley says, or any time. I wonder if he is onto something with time travel, as I have mentioned before. Ana Lucia and Saeed are in the jungle, and he sees Rousseau. He approaches her and asks her what she is doing, and she then says she is looking for him, and gives him her gun to show that she isn't a threat. He follows her, even though he doesn't trust her after stealing Aaron. She then takes him to someone that fell into one of her traps and is hanging upside down, and tells Saeed not to let him go because he is one of them. Saeed still frees him, and he tries to run away, but Rousseau shoots him with a crossbow, but it doesn't kill him, and she says he would be dead if she wanted him to be. In the flashback, the first Gulf War is going on, and Saeed is in the Republican Guard, burning and shredding documents before the Americans can get their hands on them. When the Americans show up, Saeed lies and says that their commanding officer is gone. The soldier, who is Kate's dad, doesn't believe him and has him arrested. After being held captive for a while, the Americans capture his commander and ask Saeed to act as a translator. Saeed asks his commander to give up the location of a pilot that was captured. He tells Saeed to kill the Americans and grab one of their guns, but Saeed doesn't do it. They then convince Saeed to torture his commander after showing Saeed a video of his commander using sarin gas on a village that had Saeed's family in it. Saeed then gets the information from his commander and comes out covered in blood and says that the pilot was already killed. Saeed is released into the desert by the Americans and is told now that he has the skills to get information if he ever needs anything. It turns out that one of the Americans can actually speak Arabic and knew everything what Saeed was telling his commander the whole time. His name was Kelvin. Saeed brings the man to the hatch, and he tells Locke that he needs to talk to him. He finds out that his name is Henry Gale, and he says that he and his wife were doing a hot air balloon trip across the Pacific and crashed 4 months earlier. One of my friends pointed out that Henry Gale is the name from The Wizard of Oz, and he also used a hot air balloon. This man is clearly lying about who he is. Jack shows up and wants to know why they haven't removed the arrow, and he says they wanted to get information out of him. Jack removes the arrow but leaves him tied up. Saeed tells Locke to change the combination on the secure room so that Jack can't interrupt him from doing what he needs to do. Saeed gets Jack to put him in the room so nobody will see him. Then Saeed goes in after and closes the door. Saeed finds out that Henry and his wife Jennifer were crashed on the north side of the island that is about 2 days away. Henry says that his wife got sick 3 weeks earlier and eventually died. He says that he buried his wife near the hot air balloon, which he describes in detail. He is not able to answer Saeed's questions about how deep the grave is, and Saeed believes that he is lying. Henry realizes Saeed has lost someone on the island. Saeed starts beating him. Jack gets upset about the torture, and when the alarm starts go, he prevents Locke from punching in the code until Locke opens the door so he can stop Saeed. Once Locke does, there is only 10 seconds left on the timer, and he doesn't get the code entered in time, and black and red symbols start to appear. I did some research and found that they are Egyptian hieroglyphics. The first symbol was folded cloth, the third symbol was a hawk, and the last symbol was death. I'm not sure what that means, but that certainly doesn't sound good. Locke finally gets a code entered, and the timer resets. Jack stops Saeed, but Saeed tells him that Henry is lying. Jack reminds Saeed that Rousseau tortured him for the same reason. Locke agrees and says that they are all others to Rousseau. This is true, but that doesn't mean Saeed is wrong about Henry. Saeed talks to Charlie on the beach about what happened and says that Jack and Locke have forgotten about the others and what they have done to the group, and asks Charlie if he has forgotten what the others have done to him. Sawyer is mad about a tree frog interrupting his sleep, and he goes into the jungle to find it. He finds Hurley with a hidden stash of food and a giant bucket of ranch. He says he won't tell if Hurley helps him find the tree frog. He calls Hurley fat, and Hurley says people still like him, unlike Sawyer. Sawyer apologizes, and they find the frog. Hurley says that he will release it a few beaches away, but Sawyer just crushes it in his hand. The next episode doesn't have any real flashbacks. Aaron is sick with fever and a rash. Clara goes to find Jack, but Locke stops her and says she can't go into the jungle in the night, and that Jack is at the hatch, and that he will go get Jack. While he is gone, Rousseau shows up and tells Claire that Aaron is infected. Kate then shows up and tells Rousseau to leave. Claire has a memory of being injected with a needle while pregnant. Jack tells Claire that the baby is fine and she just needs to wait. Claire is worried about what happened when she was kidnapped. She gets Libby, one of the tail survivors, who is a psychologist. She is able to get Claire to remember more of what happened, and she remembers getting injected by Ethan in what looks like a doctor's office. She was drugged during this. She thought she was in Australia and leaving for the US soon. She remembers seeing the bearded other without his beard. He tells Ethan that they're going to be unhappy that Claire was brought, since the list has not been made and that some leader won't be happy. Ethan tells him that they have the passenger manifest and they know that Ethan wasn't on the plane, so he had to make a move. Claire gets Kate to help her find Rousseau to find the vaccine that she was injected with. Claire gets Sun to take care of Aaron while she was gone. And Sun says a mother shouldn't leave her child, but still watches Aaron. She has another memory of where Ethan leads her to a baby room, and there is a new Dharma logo, a medicine symbol and the Dharma text, and then a path leading up to an exit. Kate gets a gun from Sawyer, and they find Rousseau in the jungle. She then takes them to where she found Claire. Claire gets mad at her and remembers scratching her arm and says that Rousseau abducted her. Rousseau says that she doesn't know where the facility is. Claire's another memory of where Ethan is sitting on a log and drinking water with a weird taste. This is probably how they drugged her. Ethan says that the baby is one of the good ones. She then is able to find a facility with the Dharma logo on it. They go inside, and the facility has been abandoned. Kate goes to find a power source to turn the lights on. Kate finds a row of lockers, and inside are some clothes, a fake beard, and some theatrical glue for gluing on the beard. So it looks like the pirates that look like others, or the others that look like pirates, are not really, and they've just been wearing disguises so they don't know what they really look like. Claire finds a refrigerator that has a vaccine, but it is now empty. She then has a memory of a girl rescuing her from the bunker and telling her that the others plan to kill her and take her baby. I bet this girl is Alex, and I wonder if Alex knows what's really going on. Claire finds a booty she made while at the facility, and Claire then finds another memory of Rousseau finding her and realizing that she was trying to save her and she wasn't part of the kidnapping. Rousseau asks about Alex and tells her the girl helped her. Rousseau warns her that if Aaron is infected, she will have to do something. When they get back to the beach, Jack tells them that the fever has subsided, and it seems like Aaron received all of his injections since they are going to take him that night. In the hatch, Jack and Locke are trying to come up with a plan for Henry, since he hasn't shown anything that proves that he is an other or not. Locke gives Henry a book about Dostoevsky and he complains that it isn't Stephen King. Outside, Locke tells Jack Hemingway felt that he couldn't escape the shadow of Dostoevsky. Mr. Echo goes to the bunker and asks for some tools and notices the cot in the room. Later, he asks Jack about the person in there, and who asks him if Locke told him about it. He says that if they want to keep a secret, they should let him see him. He goes into the room and scares Henry with his imposing figure. He then tells him about killing the others and cuts off 2 parts of his beard that symbolically say that he had to tell someone and is back on the righteous path. Locke brings Henry food, who starts talking to him about Hemingway and Dostoevsky, and that the walls are thin. He asks Locke why he let Jack call the shots, and Locke leaves after saying they make decisions together. Afterwards, Locke knocks all the dishes off the counter. Henry seems like a master manipulator. Locke was good at manipulating people to get what he wants, but Henry is another level above that. And he was able to get to Locke and convince him that he's not an equal with Jack. He seems to have some agenda, even if he is not one of the others. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching.